Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in.
Hey guys, it's your friend Bree. I decided I was going to do a get ready with me because I think it's important, like if you're watching somebody on YouTube or whatever, I don't consider myself a YouTuber, but to kind of know what they're about and maybe just a little bit about them. And I don't think I've done anything other than show you I have a lot of makeup. So I'm going to get ready and we're going to talk. So my name is Bree. I am 38 years old. I will be 39 on tax day, April 15th. I am the youngest of 3. I have an older brother and sister, and I have 3 nieces and 3 nephews. I love my family very, very much. I'm very involved in my nieces and nephews' life. I was an aunt at 10 years old because my sister is 15 years older than me. My brother is 5 years older than me. I am not married. I don't have any children. Although I definitely do want to get married. I just believe in waiting for the right person. I'd rather be alone than be with somebody that wasn't, right for me. So, I grew up in Houston. I currently live in Houston in the neighborhood I grew up in. Oh crap, I don't know what happened. My family, my parents live in the neighborhood behind me, and my sister lives in the neighborhood behind them. My brother lives in an area called Tomball, and October 15th, I lost my very best friend in the entire world, my mother. And I have had some trouble coping, as expected. My mom passed away 2 days before her 54th wedding anniversary. I am a social worker. I work with children. I am a freelance writer, and I am currently writing a book. What else about me is interesting? I don't have a lot of friends, and I'm okay with that. It's quality, not quantity. I went to Catholic school all my life. Graduated from a Catholic college, University of St. Thomas here in Houston. I'm very, very smart. I'm the kind of person, I don't do things unless I'm going to do it well. And I don't talk about or boast about things that are not true. I don't think when I was growing up in high school, like a lot of the girls, I went to an all-girls school growing up. All-girls Catholic school. And I don't think any of the girls knew that I was really smart. It's not something I really advertised. I think there were 188 girls in my graduating class. I believe there were 6 African American girls. I've always kind of felt like an outsider in a lot of ways, because I felt, and this is all perception, that I just used the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I'm trying to finish it up, and I'm using the Peach Perfect powder right now. I didn't have a lot of exposure to African American people, even though I'm black, other than my family growing up, because I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, and I went to white schools, and so I didn't really have a lot of exposure. And although there were a couple of black girls in my high school, I always felt like I wasn't black enough, and the white girls in my school didn't understand why I spoke a certain way or spoke properly. There was a lot of judging going on. Now, this is in the 90s, Not everything was as acceptable as it is now. I've always felt that I was different, and I am different. I'm definitely different. I'm definitely unique. My dad would tell me I'm his different child. I am. I'm different. I have tattoos. I have piercings. I'm very loud. Not loud. Let me go back on that. If I know you, I say what's on my mind. I don't have a filter at all, but I'm not very friendly, to be honest with you. My brother and sister are very much people person, people. I am not. I could live in my house by myself for the rest of my life. But that's just not how human condition works. You need people. I'm going to use the Queen of Hearts, but I'm going to put the rest of my face makeup on. I like to read. I crochet. I'm just very, do things by myself. Although, I mean, I appreciate spending time with good friends. When my mother passed away, I was really surprised at the amount of love I received from some friends from grade school and high school. My best friend Megan, a good friend of mine Des, my friend Audrey, extremely supportive and just very much there for me. I was devastated when my mom died. And it was equally difficult. I think it was even more difficult because, like, my mom was everything to me. I mean, she was my ride or die. Like, that was my girl. That was my ace in the hole. And what was even more difficult is that people say I look like my mom, and I don't see that. My mom was so beautiful and such a presence about her. Like, she'd walk in a room. She always was dressed to the nines. She always looked fabulous. She had beautiful hair, and she was just a really awesome person. And she loved me hard. Like, she loved me so much. I don't want to cry. I don't think a mother could love a child as much as my mom loved me. She really did. I don't want to cry. My mom had me at 39 in 1980, which was like, nowadays having your kid at 39 is not a big deal. But in 1980, it was like unheard of. So she was always very concerned about me and very worried. She always wanted to make sure I was okay. She just loved me a lot. So, moving forward, my father is still alive and lives in the neighborhood behind me. He is 81. My dad works still. He's his own, he's a lawyer and a pharmacist. And my dad will work 10 hours a day at 81 years old. He's very smart. He's a good businessman. He was a good provider. He still is. He's really funny. We all of us in my family are really, really funny people. We all have this kind of dry wit to us, my brother included. So, what else? What else should I tell you guys about me? I've lived in San Antonio at one point in my life. I went to school in San Antonio, but I came home because I got sick. I ended up having some very serious mental health issues where I had to come home. And my mom came and got me from San Antonio September 10th, 1999. It was on her birthday. She came and got me. I live with borderline personality disorder and major depression. I don't live with multiple personality disorder. I live with borderline. Look it up. It's one of the most difficult disorders to treat, especially with medication. And the depression is something I've always really battled severely. I've always had really deep depression. I am a person that is in recovery. I've been drug-free and alcohol-free for 12 years. I was a member of Narcotics Anonymous for some time, and then I decided to really focus more on my therapy. And although I would be dead if it wasn't for my mother and my father and Narcotics Anonymous, that's for sure. When I got clean, I was like 90 pounds, and I'm 5'7". I was dying. I was literally dying. So, but with my mother and my father and the support of my brother and sister, I was able to get clean the first time, which is a very difficult feat, and able to stay clean, and helped other young women that were suffering with the disease of addiction. I just ended up taking a different road. Like, I think Narcotics Anonymous served its purpose in my life, and I'm very happy that I found that road. But my main issue was mental health issues that I needed to deal with primarily. And so I'm a strong believer in therapy and medication. I have a fantastic therapist I've been with for a long time, and I have a fantastic doctor. This is something interesting. I have a rare disorder called interstitial cystitis. It's a bladder disorder that causes frequency, urgency, pain, and incontinence. I was diagnosed at 26, which is extremely young. Usually it is a disorder that kind of affects middle-aged white women, and I was in my mid-20s and I was black. And so over the course of 10 years, I suffered and had 23 different surgeries on my bladder. I have 2 InterStim devices. They're like little pacemakers, like little boxes. They're implanted in my upper buttocks, and they control the spasms in my bladder. I had a wonderful doctor who retired, and about a year before she retired, I went into what they call remission, like it's like cancer, and I was urinating up to, God, 80 times a day. It was absolutely awful for 10 years. For 10 years. It was the most, it was the most terrible thing I think I've ever been through. And during that time, my family was extremely supportive, especially my mother and father. But there were certain situations where I couldn't go anywhere because I would have to use the bathroom on the way, and it was just, 26, 27 wearing Depends is a very difficult thing to accept, Dating was very difficult. But, like I said, about a year and a half ago, I realized that I had only been to the bathroom twice that day. And I was like, oh, what do you call that? It's it's something that's just happened. It's just a random act. And then several days in a row it happened. And I was so excited, but I didn't want to call my doctor because I wasn't sure. And so I went in to see her without telling her because I had a really good relationship with my doctor. And I said, I think, I don't have it anymore. I didn't know because it had been so long that I'd been dealing with this. And so she asked me some questions, and she said, my dear, I think you are in remission. And I was taking pain medicine. I was just, it was I can't describe it. It was just terrible. Being a young woman and wearing Depends, it was just an awful, awful situation. I was in constant pain. And then it just stopped. And it was like a goddamn miracle. And I've been in remission ever since. And it brings tears to my eyes because I really suffered through that situation. I mean, it was awful. 10 long, long years. But now it's over for now. I think more than anything, I really believe that my purpose in this world is to be of maximum service to God and others, however that looks like. I'm not always 100% on top of what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm a human. But that period of time, with dealing with my bladder, I learned a lot about myself and what I could endure. And what I learned more than anything is that things change. They may get better. They may get worse, but they'll change. And I have a friend of mine named Lori who helped me understand to try to be content in the situation I was in. Try to have acceptance about where I am. And, when I move out of it, that's a different thing. But just try to have acceptance for your circumstances as they are, not as I would have them. That's really hard to do. But I did it. And then things changed. I have a beautiful life. I've had experiences that a lot of people haven't. I've traveled. I mean, I have ailments that other people don't. I mean, I have had a really great life thus far. I'm just looking for the next chapter to add a husband and maybe a kid. But, you know, I'm a very patient person. When you go through the things that I've been through, you learn to just wait it out. Because like I say at the end of my videos, it gets real, it gets different, it gets real fucking different. So yeah, this is the look. I didn't tell you what I was putting on my face, sorry. This is the Anastasia Glow Kit. This is the Sun Dipped, and then I had on some Coastal Scents blush, and then the Queen of Hearts. I don't know if that you can even see. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me. I hope this gives you a little insight into who I am and kind of what I do and what I've been through. I'm really grateful for this like opportunity to like just come on and be myself. This is how I am. This is me 100% all the time. My friends will tell you like she just does whatever she wants to, like, which gets me in trouble sometimes, but for the most part it doesn't. I'm very honest. I have a really big heart. There's just some like a crusty exterior to get to it. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. If no one told you that you're loved and special, you absolutely are. If you're having a difficult time, just hang on. It gets real. It gets different. It gets real fucking different. So just hang on for the ride. Tie a knot in that rope and hold on. I hope you have a great week. I'm in spring break right now. I don't know when this is going to go up, but I work in the school district and it's spring break, and so I'm off all week, and so I'll be filming a lot of stuff. So I hope you have a great week. Take care.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I